On June 6, 1944, the eyes of the world were focused on the beaches of Normandy, watching as Allied soldiers stormed the shores of France. It was the largest seaborne invasion in history, with over 156,000 soldiers landing on the coast. For most people, this monumental event in world history is remembered through the stories of its generals and leaders. But have you ever wondered about the common foot soldiers? What were their stories? What did they do during this historic event? Let's find out. Private First Class Robert Ingram Bucknam, also known as Buck, was part of the first wave of troops to storm Omaha Beach on DID. He vividly described the chaotic scene when their landing craft approached the shore. As the ramp lowered, Ingram found himself knee-deep in icy water, shielding his face with his helmet and pushing forward. Suddenly, the peaceful facade shattered. A hail of bullets whizzed past him, each shot echoing the fate of his comrades who had already met their end on the beach. Despite the relentless gunfire, Ingram pressed on, guided by adrenaline and duty. As he clambered onto the beach, the true horror of the situation unfolded. Around him, wounded soldiers cried out in pain, desperately seeking assistance. One man lay slumped on the sand, his body riddled with bullet holes, while others struggled to free themselves from the unforgiving barbed wire entanglements. With a mix of determination and fear, Ingram joined the fight, firing his weapon at the enemy until he ran out of ammunition. Then he grabbed an abandoned Tommy gun and continued the battle, determined to survive. Throughout the day, he moved from one foxhole to another, witnessing both the resilience and fragility of the human spirit. By the end of the day, Ingram had lost many friends and faced death numerous times, but he had also witnessed extraordinary acts of heroism and camaraderie. As dusk settled over Omaha Beach, Ingram and his surviving comrades stood amidst the carnage, contemplating the heavy cost of victory. Sergeant Leonard Lomel Parmenter, serving with the King's Own Scottish Borderers, played a pivotal role in securing a vital piece of high ground near the village of Cap. His actions demonstrated exceptional bravery and tactical awareness. On June 6, 1944, as part of the British 51st Highland Division, Parmenter and his men landed on Sword Beach. Their mission was clear: capture the high ground east of the village. However, they soon encountered fierce resistance from German forces entrenched in the area. Undeterred, Parmenter rallied his troops, leading them in a series of well-coordinated assaults. Despite heavy casualties, they managed to advance steadily, neutralizing enemy positions one by one. Parmenter's keen eye for detail and battlefield awareness enabled his unit to avoid many ambushes, showcasing his military acumen. When his men reached a crucial crossroads, realizing that capturing the nearby high ground would provide a strategic advantage, Parmenter took charge. With limited resources, he ordered some men to consolidate their gains while others, including himself, stealthily moved to the high ground, surprising and overwhelming the German defenders. Once established, Parmenter's unit repelled several counterattacks, holding their ground firmly. His leadership and quick thinking proved instrumental in securing this vital vantage point, ensuring the safety of friendly troops while advancing the Allied cause. Ralph Talbot, originally from Lynn, Massachusetts, was a member of Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division. On June 6, 1944, Talbot and his unit parachuted into enemy territory near the town of St. Eglis as part of Operation Neptune, the airborne operation preceding the D-Day landings. Tasked with seizing key terrain and securing bridges near the drop zone, Talbot's unit faced fierce resistance from German forces. Despite the challenges, they fought bravely, engaging in intense firefights and maneuvering to establish a defensive perimeter. During the course of the battle, Talbot displayed remarkable courage and resilience, helping his comrades and tending to the wounded despite the ongoing danger. His actions contributed to the eventual success of the mission, laying the groundwork for the Allied victory on D-Day. John Steele, a young American paratrooper, found himself dangling precariously from a church spire in St. Mire-Église. Steele, part of the 101st Airborne Division, had jumped into enemy territory on the night of June 5, 1944, with orders to secure key objectives. As his parachute billowed above him, he had intended to land behind German lines. However, fate had other plans. His chute became entangled in the bell tower of the church, leaving him stranded and exposed. As Steele struggled to free himself, bullets and spent shell casings rained down around him. Trapped and injured, he waited anxiously for the fighting to subside. Eventually, German soldiers discovered him and, assuming him to be dead, left him hanging. After enduring hours in this precarious position, Steele was eventually cut down by the Germans and taken prisoner. But when the Allied forces advanced, he managed to escape, rejoining his unit. Steele's incredible tale of survival and resilience exemplified the tenacity of the Allied troops during D-Day. David Hackworth, an African-American soldier serving with the 369th Infantry Regiment, 92nd Division, landed on the beaches of Normandy on July 25, 1944, about a month after the initial D-Day invasion. His unit's mission was to help secure and expand the beachhead established by the Allied forces. Upon arrival, Hackworth and his comrades faced ongoing threats from German forces, including snipers and artillery fire. They quickly engaged in combat, moving through villages and battling enemy troops. Despite the dangers, Hackworth's bravery and determination shone through. He fearlessly led his men, providing cover and support as they advanced. His military acumen and strategic thinking helped his unit navigate complex battle scenarios, overcoming enemy defenses and securing key positions. Joseph Bay, a member of the Free French Forces, returned to France with the invading Allied troops in June 1944, eager to liberate his homeland from Nazi occupation. Bay's journey, however, was deeply personal. Having fled France in 1940 after the country's defeat, he had joined the Free French Forces under General Charles de Gaulle, continuing to resist the Germans from exile. Now, 4 years later, he was back with the Allied invasion, driven by a burning desire to contribute to the liberation of France. As part of the Free French Infantry Division, Bay and his comrades faced intense battles, particularly in the southern part of the invasion front. Their objective was to advance inland and disrupt German communications and supply lines. Despite the heavy casualties, Bay and his fellow Free French soldiers fought valiantly, demonstrating great courage and determination. Bay's leadership and battlefield experience proved invaluable as he inspired his men to overcome numerous obstacles and achieve their objectives. Their contributions played a significant role in weakening German defenses and paving the way for the liberation of more French territory. Major Howard Henry Johnson, commanding officer of the 2nd Battalion, 116th Infantry, Pennsylvania National Guard, faced a critical moment during the Battle of Cantigny on May 28, 1944. His unit, deployed on the Western Front in support of the larger Normandy campaign, was tasked with capturing the strategic village of Cantigny. Despite facing heavy enemy fire and fortified positions, Johnson and his troops launched a daring assault. As the battle intensified, Johnson's leadership was put to the test. Realizing the need for reinforcements, he skillfully utilized available resources, coordinating with neighboring units to bolster his positions. As the tide of battle shifted, Johnson and his men held their ground, repelling numerous German counterattacks and inflicting heavy casualties. Their steadfast defense of the captured territory prevented any further enemy advances, contributing significantly to the overall Allied campaign in the region. Richard Winters, a platoon leader with Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division, found himself in the heart of the historic events on DID. During the invasion of Normandy, Winters and his men parachuted into enemy territory on the night of June 5, 1944, tasked with seizing and holding key objectives. Facing intense resistance from German forces, Winters displayed remarkable bravery and tactical skill. He led his men through numerous firefights, inspiring them to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. During one particularly intense engagement, Winters' unit found itself pinned down by enemy fire. With quick thinking and determination, Winters maneuvered his men, utilizing any available cover, such as a stone wall or a clump of trees. This strategic movement allowed them to regroup, reorganize, and ultimately break contact with the enemy, suffering minimal casualties. Winters' decisive action and battlefield prowess exemplified the tenacity and resilience of the Allied troops during D-Day. As we pay tribute to these unsung heroes of D-Day, let us also remember the countless others whose stories remain untold. The brave soldiers who stormed the beaches of Normandy and fought valiantly on the battlefields of Europe. Their sacrifice, courage, and unwavering commitment to freedom continue to inspire us today. Just like those young soldiers who embarked on a mission to liberate Europe from Nazi tyranny, we too, in our daily lives, confront challenges that test our bravery and resilience. These veterans embodied the true spirit of courage, selflessness, and unity, qualities that we should strive to emulate in our own endeavors. As we reflect on their legacy, let us draw inspiration from their unwavering commitment to duty and their ability to overcome unimaginable adversities. They showed us that no matter how daunting the task may seem, with courage, determination, and the support of our comrades, we can triumph over the toughest challenges. The courage they exhibited on the beaches of Normandy will forever be a beacon guiding us to be better, braver, and more compassionate individuals. Let us honor their memory by carrying their legacy forward, cherishing the freedom they fought so hard to protect, and let us never forget the lessons of courage, resilience, and unity that they taught us on that fateful day in 1944.